Have a great day. Practice your listening skills and improve your vocabulary with me through daily podcasts on a variety of topics.
The Wright Brothers. At one time, people only dreamed about flying. The Wright brothers, Wilbur and Orville, were dreamers who changed the world. They were the inventors of the first successful airplane. From a young age, the brothers were fascinated with the idea of flying. When Wilbur was 11 and Orville was 7, their father gave them a flying toy. When they were older, Wilbur and Orville opened a bicycle shop in Ohio, where they designed, sold, and repaired bicycles. They used their bike shop to design an airplane. The brothers didn't go to college, but they studied a lot about aviation. They were interested in the way birds use their wings. They studied 3 necessary things for flying: lift, control, and power. Wilbur designed a small flyer with a gasoline engine. The brothers flew it for the first time on December 17, 1903. The airplane stayed in the air for 12 seconds. It traveled a distance of 120 feet. That day, they made 4 short flights in their first Wright flyer. Only a few U.S. newspapers reported this historic moment. A New York newspaper wrote, "They are in fact either flyers or liars." The Wright brothers continued to work on their airplane. For the next 2 years, they didn't fly at all. They needed a patent for their invention and customers to buy it. They contacted the U.S. government, but the government wasn't interested. The government didn't believe them. The brothers went to Europe in 1908. There they made more than 200 flights. People were amazed. The brothers became famous. News of their success was on the front page of newspapers. When they came back to America in 1909, they were heroes. They sold the Wright Flyer to the U.S. Army in 1909. Airplanes today use the same basic design elements of the Wright Flyer.
The first pilots.
At the beginning of the 20th century, flight was new. It was not for everyone. It was only for adventurous people. 2 adventurous aviators were Charles Lindbergh and Amelia Earhart. Charles Lindbergh was born in 1902, a year before the Wright brothers' historic flight. In 1927, a man offered a $25,000 reward for the first person to fly from New York to Paris. Lindbergh was a pilot for the U.S. Mail Service at that time. He wanted to win the prize. He decided to try, and he won. He was the first person to fly across the Atlantic Ocean alone. His plane was in the air for 33 hours. The flight was 3,600 miles. There were thousands of people in New York to welcome him home. He was an American hero. He was only 25 years old. Another famous American aviator was Amelia Earhart. In 1920, when she was 23 years old, she rode in a plane for the first time. As soon as the plane was in the air, she was sure that she wanted to be a pilot. She took flying lessons and soon bought her own plane. In 1932, she was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean alone. Americans were in love with Earhart. In 1937, she was ready for a bigger challenge. She wanted to fly around the world. She wasn't alone. She was with a navigator. They disappeared somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. Maybe there wasn't enough fuel. Maybe the weather conditions were bad. No one knows what happened to Earhart. It is still a mystery today.